Ryan Wedding, whose aliases include El Jefe, the boss, giant, and public enemy, was arrested last night just outside Mexico City.
In the world of professional sports, Ryan James Wedding was a name associated with peak performance. An Olympic athlete who represented Canada in the 2002 Winter Games, to his teammates, he was a golden boy. But while the world saw an Olympian, the FBI saw something else entirely. A ghost, a man who transitioned from the Olympic stage to the underworld of global cartels. He didn't just break the law, he rewrote the playbook for international drug trafficking. Today, we are deep diving into the life of Ryan James Wedding, man who exchanged his Olympic gear for a $1 billion cocaine empire. Born in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Ryan's life was defined by discipline. By the time he reached the Salt Lake City Olympics, he was at the top of his game. But the discipline required for sports is the same discipline required for crime. Shortly after his Olympic stint, the rush of the game wasn't enough. In 2008, the first crack in his golden image appeared. He was convicted of conspiracy to distribute cocaine and sentenced to prison. Most people thought that was the end of Ryan Wedding. In reality, it was just his internship in prison. He wasn't reflecting on his mistakes, he was networking. By the time he got out, the athlete was gone. In his place was a drug lord. The FBI alleges that Wedding became the leader of a massive transnational organized crime group. They weren't just moving small bags, they were moving tons of cocaine from Colombia through Mexico into the United States and Canada. His operation was cold, calculated, and violent. The FBI linked his cartel to multiple murders, people who stood in the way of the profit. He wasn't just a smuggler anymore. He was a commander of a criminal army operating from the shadows of Mexico, protected by the very cartels he supplied. For years, Ryan Wedding was a ghost. He wasn't living in Canada or the US, he was operating from the safety of Mexico, protected by the very cartels he supplied. But in the shadows, the FBI and the RCMP were building a massive puzzle. They called it Operation Dead Hand. It wasn't just about one man, it was about decapitating a $1 billion supply chain that stretched from the jungles of Colombia to the streets of Toronto. Wedding's biggest mistake, he thought his messages were private. The cartel used specialized encrypted devices to discuss shipments, prices, and even hits. But when federal agencies managed to crack these servers, the Olympic athlete's secret life was laid bare. Thousands of messages revealed the scale of the horror-detailed plans to move 60 tons of cocaine and orders for contract killings to protect the business. This wasn't just a white-collar crime. The indictment alleges that Wedding and his second-in-command, Andrew Clark, ordered murders to instill fear. In one chilling instance in Ontario, an innocent family was gunned down in a case of mistaken identity. This is the dark reality of Ryan Wedding's empire. Behind the billion-dollar profits were grieving families and blood-stained streets. But how does an Olympic snowboarder from Canada simply vanish? The answer lies south of the border. According to federal investigators, Ryan Wedding found sanctuary in Mexico, but he wasn't just hiding, he was thriving. Backed by the power of Mexican cartels, Wedding transformed from a fugitive into a high ranking lieutenant in the global narcotics trade. He wasn't just a client of the cartels, he was part of the family. In Mexico, Wedding adopted a new identity. He moved through the shadows of the underworld, allegedly protected by the Sinaloa Cartel. This wasn't just about business, it was about survival. In this world, loyalty is bottled blood, and for Ryan, the cost of staying free meant keeping the drugs flowing and the competition quiet. The FBI believes he was coordinating shipments not just to North America, but as far as Europe and Australia. In late 2024, the FBI officially added Ryan James Wedding to their 10 most wanted fugitives list. A $50,000 reward was placed on his head. For a man who handled billions, 50,000 might seem like pocket change. But for the FBI, it's a signal to his associates. It's a message that the walls are closing in. Even in the deepest corners of Mexico, someone is always watching, and someone is always willing to talk. Every empire built on drugs has a foundation made of blood. For Ryan Wedding, that blood wasn't just from rival gangsters. In late 2020, a quiet family in Ontario, Canada, became the ultimate victims of this Olympic-turned narcos reign. Gunmen, allegedly acting on orders from the wedding clerk syndicate, broke into a home and opened fire. The tragedy? They had the wrong house. An innocent father and mother were killed, and their daughter was left fighting for her life. This is the true face of the athletic club. It's not just about money, it's about the reckless destruction of innocent lives. Operation Dead Hand didn't just target Wedding, it swept across continents. From the flashy condos of Southern California to the shipping ports of New Jersey, the FBI dismantled his infrastructure. They seized tons of cocaine and millions in cash. His second in command, Andrew Clark, was eventually captured in Mexico. The net is tightening. Redding is now an island, his associates are in federal custody, and his protection is becoming a liability for the cartels. So where is Ryan James Wedding today? He could be in a high security villa in Sinaloa, or he could be moving between safe houses in the mountains of Colombia. But the glory of Salt Lake City is a lifetime away. You traded a legacy of gold for a life of shadows. The FBI isn't stopping, the reward is active. And as history shows us, even the most elusive ghosts eventually have to step into the light. The only question is, will he be caught, or will the underworld he helped build silence him first? If you have information on Ryan Wedding, contact the FBI. And for more deep dives into the world's most dangerous cases, subscribe to Crime Case Vault. Stay safe and stay vigilant. Thanks for watching.